What's good, people? Big up to every single one of you. I'm live. And you know what? It feels like I haven't been live for ages. Solo live, that is. Normally, we've got a panel. And look, there's loads of football to talk about. So I like to get other panelists on, like to have debates. I know you will lot love it as well. All the shows that we have on 12th Man. But I kind of miss doing a solo live, if I'm honest. I've done quite a lot of uploads of late. And I thought maybe people might like to have a little bit of a different sort of swing on things in terms of some analysis that I've done, and normally a little more shorter form content, 15, 20 minutes here and there about a topic. But I actually wanted to talk live tonight with you guys and get some thoughts and feelings on what's coming up, which will be an unbelievably huge weekend for the title race, not just for Arsenal, but for Manchester City as well. They, of course, go to Anfield, and Arsenal welcome Sunderland, who, by the way, have not had a very good away record at all this season. Now, I might have jinxed it already, but they truly haven't. They've lost to West Ham most recently, which was a real shock, to be honest. So we're going to talk on what we are feeling in going into that game. We're going to talk on the team news. We're going to talk on injury news and who's been in training and who hasn't. And, of course, we're going to talk about what our thoughts are for Liverpool and Manchester City. So do me a favor, make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe if you're new to the channel. Come and join the 12th Man community. We're almost up to 60,000 subscribers. So please, if you do want to join part of the community, press like and subscribe. And if you do want to join as a member, then click the join button as well. And you can commit a very small payment to the channel every month to support the content. Please make sure you're following OK Jerseys. OK Jerseys have been fantastic for us. The link's in the live chat and in the description. And as you see scrolling across the banner below, if you use the code 12man, you'll get 8% discount. Now, they are very cheap shirts anyway, but you might as well use the code and you will get the 8% off. You can get any name and number on the back of any shirt, and the World Cup shirts are now out, people. So if you want to get your England shirt, or if you're supporting another nation, then please go and check them out because they've been fantastic. Let's welcome everybody in the chat. We've got Goatfather, I only call you Godfather. Goatfather, how are you, bro? Luca, we've got our mods in the chat. Tammy being one of them. Hope you're well. Chang's here. Ryan's here, our mod. Thank you, Ryan. Hope you're well, my bro. And we've also got the mod mother in the house. We've got Carol in the house as well. I hope you're well. Mike here too, and everyone, of course, listening on catch up, and of course on the audio. So make sure you show some love to the show. If you would like to see our channel merch, which I'm wearing here, Thierry Henry, the wonderful France football art who supported 12th Man, then you can click on the link in the description, go to the Fourth Wall page and check out our merch. These hoodies are going well. A lot of people are looking at the Thierry Henry mugs as well. So go and have a butcher's over there and purchase anything that you may want. Let's talk about this game. I think the attack at Arsenal needs to improve. Now, I understand we're top of the league and it might be quite harsh to moan right now because things are looking good, right? But I actually do truly believe that this Arsenal attack is yet to go bang. In its free-flowing attack, it looks pretty good. We've seen that against Bayern Munich, against Atletico Madrid. We've seen it against Spurs, against Villa. We've seen it against Leeds, home and away. We scored a hell of a lot of goals. In fact, in most of those goals, we scored at least 3 or 4 goals, and some even 5. So we can get it right. And it does look good, and it has looked good. But I don't think it's looked consistently good throughout the season. And I think that that's the next level that Arsenal will have to go to for everybody to then go, Arsenal look great. And if you remember, they were saying that, the media. Oh, my God, they've battered Bayern Munich. Oh, my God, they smashed Atletico Madrid. Oh, my God, in between that, they've battered Spurs. And then it's all back to Stoke FC settings, and Arsenal are lucky, and set pieces and own goals are the only way they're going to score goals. They're going to win the league off own goal set pieces. They get very bitter. But really and truly, when we are doing what's best, is we are winning football games. And that's what matters. But I truly believe this attack can go to the next level. Now, I'm not saying that I've got the answer. I'm saying that there is a thought in my mind that we might have seen something over the last few games that actually looks a little bit more exciting going forward. Now, in the last few games, we haven't battered teams, but we did score 4 against Leeds, right? We did look like we were going forward in more of a free-flowing way against Leeds in the second half, but also against Kairat. Now, when people say it's Kairat and Leeds, you can only beat what's in front of you. And I appreciate that it's not like beating Real Madrid or Barcelona. But all I can do is look with my eyes, use the eye test and say, what do I envisage to be the best partnership up top right now for Arsenal? And that's what I want to talk about today. Because I do believe that the Arsenal attack could go bang with the quality that we've got. People forget what strength in depth we've got. With Bukayo Saka and Odegaard, everyone looks at those two and thinks they're our most creative players. But I would argue that they've been two of the ones that are potentially underperforming, and that the likes of Trossard and Martinelli have outperformed them with goals and assists this season. Noni Madueke and Eze I'd like to see more from, but we still do have them as options. And with Marino now injured, who was scoring goals also, we have still got Kai Havertz, Gyökeres and Jesus. So really and truly, Arsenal have got some attacking players there that we've spent a hell of a lot of money on. Gyökeres and Havertz were both over 100 million. Eze was 70 million. Noni Madueke was also 52 million. You know, Martinelli and Trossard weren't a lot of money, but they've probably been the two that I would say have probably performed the best. And they were two of the cheapest. So we've got a lot of talent and we've got a lot of quality in our attack. And moving forward, I do believe that we're going to see an opportunity for Arsenal to utilise some of that. Now, sometimes it isn't always who you start. It's sometimes how you end. And I truly do believe that Arsenal have got an opportunity to showcase that in some of these games. And Sunderland is one tomorrow that I really want to do that in. And I think there's a lot of people that have got question marks and qualms about us rotating and what 11 are we going to start with? Are we going to see players coming off? Are we going to be in a position where 60-minute mark, we're hopefully looking comfortable and we can bring off some of those tired legs that have played so many minutes already this season? I hope it's one of those days tomorrow. I hope it is. And I hope for every Arsenal fan, we can sit there and say, do you know what? We've got an opportunity to now enjoy our Sunday. And we can sit there and see what happens against Manchester City, Liverpool. So that's where I'm at. I want to have a good day. I want to enjoy it. I want to be in a position where on Sunday we can relax, have a roast dinner with a family and watch Liverpool, Manchester City, knowing that Arsenal have already picked up 3 points, which will, of course, allow us to go 9 points clear. And that's massive, absolutely massive in this title race. Now, I don't really like the term must win. I appreciate it is a must win, but when is there a game that you can lose? Like, I don't really go into any of these games thinking, is this a must win? Nah, of course it is. Every game you want to win. I appreciate it's a difference with must win, because if you don't win, but I don't really get it. Like, I'm not sure about it, if I'm honest. I kind of feel like the term must win and free hit, and I don't get all that. Like, win football matches. Go into a game believing you can win. Go into a game trying to win. Go into a game positive that you're going to give your all to take 3 points. That's what I think. And that's what I expect Arsenal to be doing tomorrow against the side that have had a difficult time away from home, albeit their home form is tremendous. Haven't lost there yet. That's why they're up 7th, 8th in the table. So I do not accept this, oh, this is a must-win game, like that, and the other one isn't. They're all must-win games right now. We've got 14, 13 games left, is it? I need to go into every single one of those and pick up 3 points. And if we're dropping, then we're looking at what Manchester City are doing. If we don't drop, I don't really care what Manchester City are doing, because they still say that 6 points behind us. Now, if Liverpool can pick up something, whether it be a draw or a win, we could go 8 or 9 points clear if we win our game. But we have to win our game, right? That's what has to happen first of all. If we don't win our game, I'm going to be watching that game and like literally cringing. Like, please, Liverpool, do us a favour, because we need you now to do something. I don't want to have to need Liverpool to win. I want to believe that it's more comfortable if Liverpool win, knowing, yeah, do you know what? We've done our business. Are they going to do theirs? So that's kind of where I'm at to start with. Let's talk about the team lineup, because there's a lot of confusion, a lot of concerns. There's a lot of question marks about who's fit. Well, let's have a little bit of a chat about who's fit, shall we? I can only go on the last press conference from Mikel Arteta, and this is what he said. On Bukayo Saka, his hip is getting much better. Hopefully, very soon he'll be with us. And he goes on to say, very soon, very soon. Now, I don't know what that means about Bukayo Saka. What does very soon mean? Because with Mikel Arteta sometimes, he says, oh, it's a matter of days with Havertz, and then 2 months later, we finally see him. We should have him back very, very soon. What does that mean? What does that mean? Very, very soon? Does it mean next game? Does it mean in 2 weeks? Does it mean in 2 months? I have no idea. But the good news is it's not long term. You can't say he's going to be back very soon and then it'd be 2-3 months out. And to be fair, I never thought Saka was out for that long, because I believed it was a hip injury in the warm-up. So hopefully you'd like to think that after a couple of games rest, he'll be pretty much there or thereabouts. Now, if he says he'll be with us soon, I think he means in training soon. because I don't think he's in training. Whether he'll be available for selection soon, I'm not sure. Look, I don't think that Arsenal are reliant on Bukayo Saka as much as we used to be. I'll be real with you. I don't think with Bukayo Saka that if he isn't in the side anymore, that Arsenal don't have a chance of winning football games. And I've got to be honest, it weren't long ago that when he was out, I was really devastated about it, thinking, not sure how we're going to score, not sure how we're going to be in the position to actually win this game without Bukayo Saka. And I need to look at that now and think, if Saka is actually out for some time, who comes in? And I think the answer is a couple of options. In fact, we've probably got three. Noni Madueke is one. Ethan Nwaneri would have been another, but let's be real, he's now gone on loan to Marseille. The other option is actually Martinelli, because he's been playing on the right and coming on the right-hand side. And I still think that Gabriel Jesus is actually more of a wide player than a centre-forward, although I think he can play across the front three. But the one that we've really got to rely on is Noni Madueke at the moment if Saka is out, because he was £52 million. He had a really good game against Leeds. He got, obviously, the goal from the corner and the assist for Zubimendi's first goal. So really and truly, we're going to have to stick with Noni. The problem with Noni is he's very inconsistent. One game I like what he's doing. Next game he goes missing. Then he has glimpses where it has quality and he takes on his man. Then there's zero output and you're getting frustrated. And I feel like he is a little bit hot and cold and inconsistent. That's my biggest qualm with Noni Madueke. I do think that he's got improvement to do there. I think at 23, you can definitely get better. And I hope that we can coach that into him. But when I look at Saka, I do think we miss him. I've got to be honest. I do still think we miss him. But not as much as we used to. It isn't like if Saka don't create or score for us, then we ain't scoring a goal. I thought it was like that a couple of seasons ago, if I'm honest with you. Now, I think we've got other players in the side that are actually contributing alongside him and better than him. So that's Saka. Then we move to the next player, which has been a lot of rumours and question marks about, which is Martin Ødegaard. Again, Arteta says he's getting better and it will be a matter of days, we believe. Now, I don't know what that means. Again, I don't know what's wrong with Martin Ødegaard. There's been no diagnosis. There's been no confirmation about what he's injured with. Is it a knee? Is it a hip? Is it a thigh or muscle strain? Is it a hamstring problem? Or is he just going to get his hair done? Because for me, I have no idea what's actually wrong with Martin Ødegaard. No one's actually said anything. He played quite well when he came on against Leeds, and then we were told he was injured. Apparently, it's a matter of days, so Martin Ødegaard definitely will be out in this game alongside Bukayo Saka. So, of course, we then go into the who plays in front of him, which we're going to get into next. But first of all, I wanted to look at Jurriën Timber because apparently he's fine. He didn't train the last couple of days. And there was a suggestion that he might be rested for this one. And maybe Ben White will come in for this game and Jurriën Timber will be given that rest. But he is fit. I think Jurriën Timber needs to play when he's fit because I truly believe he is better than Ben White. Now, I like Ben White. I think he offers a lot. I think he's a good defender. One-on-one, he's very good. And I think that he is actually very good overlapping, going forward and linking up with the play on the right-hand side. But Jurriën Timber is an absolute beast. I think Ben White might get the nod for this one, which is what we'll come on to next. But I'm glad to hear that Jurriën Timber is okay. And I'm glad to hear that he actually had a couple of days rest. Now, does that mean they're resting him so that he can start this game? Or does that mean that Ben White is going to start in this game? And look, a lot of people have difference of opinions on that. I think this game is massively important. And I'll be very interested to hear your thoughts in the chat about this. Do we start strong and bring a few players off? Do we rest the likes of Timber and Rice and co and bring them on? This is an important game we've got to win. Feel like we might need to get to the 55, 60-minute mark, take them off anyway, and then go for the game and believe that our squad's strong enough to get 3 points against Sunderland. That's what I think, if I'm honest. That's what I think. Ellis is asking, is Merino out for the rest of the season? I believe so. A broken bone in his foot. It doesn't sound good. If he does make any part of the season, it will be the last few games of the season. So it's a big blow because he covered two positions, Merino, really, in midfield and up top. So it will be a big blow. And to lose Ethan Nwaneri as well on loan, kind of short in that area if one of them was to go down. You know, if we was to get, touch wood, this doesn't happen, an injury to Rice or Zubimendi, I feel like we'd have to play Miles Lewis-Skelly in midfield, potentially have to try and call Ethan Nwaneri back. So that's kind of where I'm at. Tammy says start strong. I actually agree. I would start strong and I would definitely look in the 50 to 60-minute mark. Right, what's the score? How comfortable are we? Let's get Declan Rice off because he's the one I worry about. He's the one I worry about the most. He's the one that makes us tick. He's the absolute engine and he's the beast and he's the heart of the team. I will say this about Declan Rice, though. I'm worried he might go kaput soon. We're playing him a hell of a lot. And albeit he's an engine and he can cope with it, there's only so much that you can do. And I just hope that Mikel Arteta learns from this. Last season, Kai Havertz, Bukayo Saka, and Gabriel all had a grade 3 hamstring because they were all being overplayed. And I don't want that to happen to Declan Rice. And there will be other stats that prove that these players are starting more minutes and these Van Dijks and Salahs don't get a rest. I don't care about Van Dijk and Salah. I care about Saka, Gabriel, Havertz, Rice and the boys over here. I don't care about Salah and Van Dijk and how many minutes they've played. I'm sorry, I don't. Like, if they go kaput, I'll be saying the same thing. Maybe they've got a bit lucky. Yeah, sometimes we can get a bit unlucky in football, but you can't keep overplaying players. So for me, we've got to be using this squad rotation perfectly. And I've got to be honest, big up to Mikel Arteta because he actually has been doing that more than I think he has ever done in the past. And some of that is because he trusts the player more now. I think he does trust the squad now. I don't think he's trusted Raheem Sterling, Fabio Vieira, Reece Nelson, even Smith Rowe. Eddie Nketiah was probably the only one who got on more than some of the others, but he didn't like the likes of Lokonga or Tavares. And those were the players that had to come in if we needed to rest. They were injured, suspensions. We were bringing those players in and we just weren't looking the same. They just weren't the Arsenal level. I'm sure they'll go and have good careers, all of them. But really and truly, Berta coming in the summer and went, there's 8 players. We've now got a squad. And you can see we've got a squad because of what we're competing in. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be interesting to see actually what he starts with. So let's get the team up. I believe that this will be the team that Mikel Arteta puts out. Now, I don't know if you believe this is the one that you would go with, and I'm not sure that it's the one I would go with, but we'll discuss that. This is what I think the team will be. I've got to be honest, there's a couple of things he can do here. There really is. There's a couple of things he really can do here. Let me know your thoughts in the chat. David Raya comes back in goal. Kepa, sorry, I don't really want to see him again other than Wigan. I wanted to see Raya in the final, and I want to see Raya in the Premier League and the Champions League. At right back and left back is very, very interesting. So I'll do the centre-backs first. I think Gabriel and Saliba need to start this game. Nketiah and Mosquera and Calafiori, they could all come in and they could all play centre-back and they could rest one of them. But I think we need to keep it solid. Brian Brobby is a threat up front. He scored against us last time and he's solid. He's muscly and he's strong. So for me, these two need to play, Gabriel and Saliba. On the right, I've gone with Ben White just because Timber has not been training until today. Now, it might be that he was resting so that he can train and play tomorrow. And I hope that's the case if he's 100% fit. If he is, I'll be playing him. But I just think Ben White might get the nod for this one so that Timber can rest and then play against Brentford on the... Is it the Thursday we've got Brentford? Yeah. That's what's interesting for me. Then at left back, Nketiah has been so good, and I actually think probably does deserve to start. I said that with Lee yesterday on AFTV, but I've just got a feeling he might bring Calafiori back into the mix for this one. He wasn't able to get 4 minutes against the likes of Chelsea, Kairat, and Leeds, but he did play in some of those games, and I just feel like we so have missed him at left back. And I never thought I'd say that last season, guys. I've got to be honest with you. I didn't think Calafiori was this, oh my God, what a Paolo Maldini type defender. Now, I still don't think he's anywhere near that level, and I don't think he ever will be. However, I do think we've missed him. I think defensively he's improved unbelievable amounts, and I think he's the most improved Arsenal player this season. I also think what he's done is he's given a little bit of stability to that left-hand side and allowed a little bit of telepathy down that left-hand side, which is something I think we've missed in the last few seasons. And I would argue as far as to say that I think the left-hand side is as strong, if not stronger this season than the right-hand side. And we've seen a right-hand side that definitely is very strong with the likes of Saka and Odegaard and White over the years. I think the left-hand side this season has been just as strong. And I think Calafiori, Rice and Trossard have all really upped it this season. Declan Rice was good last season and the season before, but this season's one of the best seasons I've seen him play in an Arsenal shirt. Trossard has scored some of the most goals I've seen in an Arsenal shirt so far. So this season, at this stage of the season anyway. And Calafiori, like I say, has come in and given stability on that left-hand side as well. So I think they deserve credit and I think they deserve praise there personally. Then we move forward into the midfield, and I think Declan Rice and Zubimendi both will play and both should start. Now, it doesn't mean they both play 90 minutes, and we can do something different by dropping one of them and maybe putting two in the attacking midfield either side. But I just think he likes that trio and double pivot of Rice and Zubimendi with one ahead of them. And that's why I think he will continue with this formation and he will continue with this team. Now, it might be that you look to drop one because against the sides that you believe you should be beating at home, Brentford, West Ham, Sunderland, all at home, I saw against West Ham and Brentford, he tried to do something a little bit different. And then Odegaard got injured in both those games. So actually, you weren't able to play Eze and Odegaard in front of the Rice or Zubimendi because of Odegaard's injury. So he did try to do that, if you remember, a few months ago. Will he try to do it again? I'm not so sure this time. I think Kai Havertz starts in the 10. In the last few games, I truly believe Kai Havertz, in Mikel Arteta's eyes, is the number 10 while Odegaard is out. And we'll come on to that a little bit more and what that means for Eze in a second. On the right-hand side, it's going to be Noni Madueke because Saka is still out. I don't think he's going to start Martinelli, but it would not surprise me if Martinelli comes on and replaces him again and starts on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, I think he'll go with Trossard, but I've just got to mention this very quickly. I like Trossard. I think he's excellent. He's been brilliant for Arsenal as a signing. I think he's more of an impact player, but this season has deserved to start on the left until now. I don't think he's done anywhere near enough in the last few games in comparison to Martinelli, and I think it would be out of order and unfair if Martinelli doesn't start this game. In fact, I'll go as far as to say that if Noni Madueke, Trossard and Martinelli are all available right now, Martinelli is the one that deserves to start out of the three of them because he's scoring a lot of goals. He's got a hat-trick against Portsmouth. He didn't get the nod. He didn't come on against Manchester United, I don't believe, or was it the game after that? There was a game after that he didn't even get the nod for. I can't even remember what one it was now. At the Emirates. What game was it? Someone will remind me soon. I think he needs to start him, guys. I think Martinelli needs to start now. So let me know who you'd start on the left-hand side. Just put a name in the chat. Would it be Trossard? Would it be Martinelli? Would it be Eberechi Eze? Let me know what you would do on the left-hand side because I still don't know that there's a position nailed on for that. There's not a player that's nailed on that position that's grabbed the ball by the horns to say, I'm now Arsenal's Bobby Pires. I don't think there is one that's done that. Mum's obviously saying Martinelli. A lot of people are saying the Trossard scoring a banger against Sunderland is why he'd start him. I get that. But I've got to be honest, Martinelli gets the nod for me on the left. But I think it will be Trossard, which is why I'll keep Trossard in. And then, of course, up top, you could go with Jesus. Marino's not available. I don't think Havertz will start up front, which means I believe it will be Victor Gyökeres. Now, he has switched and chopped and changed this. But actually, Victor Gyökeres has started to improve. He's got 4 goals in 6, I believe, in all competitions. So I don't think you can say he's out of form. I do think it's fair to say that he deserves a start. And he has been named the Arsenal Player of the Month for January. Now, I know a lot of people might think, how? Question that. But I think it's the goals. It is the goals. Let's be honest. He's scoring at the moment. So I think he starts up front. And with Havertz behind him, I kind of want to see it again. Yes, it's Sunderland and people expect us to score, but let's try it there. Kind of want to see that. So I'm up for seeing it for this game. I think it's a little harsh on Eze, but I don't think Eze's done enough to nail down that position either. Odegaard is obviously out, but I don't think he's done enough to nail down that position. So right now for me, it's Kai Havertz to have an audition in that role again and link up with, of course, Victor Gyökeres. Now, it might be that in and out of possession, you see Havertz moving closer towards Gyökeres and not being quite as deep as he is in this formation. And I actually quite like that, which is why I've titled this as Arsenal's attack that could now explode, because these two need goals. These two have been brought in to score goals at Arsenal. Whether you believe Havertz is better in this position, that position, or whether you think Gyökeres is getting enough service or fit this system, they both need to score. And they did against Kairat, and they looked pretty good moving forward against Leeds. I didn't think it was outstanding, but certainly wasn't so bad. And we've seen both of them contribute in the last few games, scoring goals against Leeds. Kai Havertz, obviously, recently against Chelsea. I think the pair of them combine a hell of a lot better than I thought. Now, I've got to big up one of my boys, Hooks, on this, because he actually called this a few weeks ago, and I slated him for it and said, you're joking. I don't want both of them up front. But actually, it ain't looked too bad. Now, look, I could get egg on my face. And against Sunderland tomorrow, we might have to take one or both of them off because they're having stinkers. But I'd just like to see what it is that these two can do together, because I'm not sure that Odegaard has combined with Gyökeres yet, and I don't think that Eze is combined with Gyökeres yet. In fact, I think the best 10 and 9 so far was when we went through them run of games where we put 4 past Villa, 4 past Tottenham, 4 past Atletico, and 4 past Bayern. And that was Eze and Marino for the majority of that, with Gyökeres being contributing in some of those goals and some of those play. Now, that for me means that we need to try something alongside Gyökeres that isn't something we've already tried. And right now, I've got to be honest, when I see Kai Havertz on the ball, he's probably one of the only players that's actually threading through passes to our striker. Erdegaard has been refusing to pass to him majority of this season. He's been going out wide. And I think Eze is kind of more of a pre-assist than an assister. I think he likes to thread the ball forward before it gets assisted to our striker. That's certainly the way that we've scored a few of our goals. We saw one against Kairat the other day. We saw one against Inter Milan. And he was definitely one of the players that I thought was bright at moving the ball forward and quicker than Odegaard. But I haven't been set the world alight by him. He's contributed like I thought he would in a few games, but he hasn't been one of our better players. That's what I think. And then you, of course, look at what's going to be happening up top. Now, Victor Gyökeres, to be fair to him, has got a little bit better. But it doesn't mean that we're now happy. I need to see more. I looked at the stats at this time last season at how many goals Kai Havertz had scored up top. And before he got injured, he'd scored 9 Premier League goals. Victor Gyökeres at the same time this season has scored 6 Premier League goals. Now, that means that if he gets another 6 and he gets 12, you'll probably look and say that's respectable for a first season, but it's not great. But really and truly, Kai Havertz got 14 Premier League goals for us in the 23-24 season. He has to get more than that. He has to. And I'm not saying he gets 15 and we all go, well, hey, but he has to try to better what was quite an average season from Kai Havertz at just 14 Premier League goals. Now, ultimately, essentially, I don't care if we only score 7 goals from Gyökeres, or Gyökeres gets 7 goals and we win the league. I'm not going to not be able to celebrate. I said this the other night with Lee. I'm not going to sit there and go, what's the matter, Dan? Oh, I'm really annoyed. Why? Arsenal won the league. Yeah, but I can't celebrate it because Gyökeres only got 8 goals. I don't care. I really don't care if he doesn't score again as long as we do win this league. But I think what we need to do is try and find a solution as to making our attack as best as it can. And I think this now is the option I'm going to go with. And it's truly because Eze and Erdegaard have kind of let me down in respect of they've not taken this position and made it their own. So now I think it's Kai's turn. And look, my mum will be listening to this and she'll be hating it because she's not a fan of either of these players. But I actually think they combine quite well together. So let's see if that continues. And look, if it doesn't work, guys, this is not, oh my God, well, I thought that was the option. We're screwed. No, we try and do something else and make it work. Maybe we bring a scenario into play that hasn't started. Maybe we go to a 4-4-2. Maybe we play one less in midfield. Maybe we go for 2 creative sparks and we have both Eze and Erdegaard or Havertz and Erdegaard, whatever it be. Maybe we try something else. But right now, I'd like to see this because I feel like Rice and Zubimendi need to stay. I just feel they've both been exceptional for each other and complementary to each other. So I'd be really frustrated if we were to get to a point where we thought, yeah, I'm quite happy with what I've seen from Rice and Zubimendi, but right now one of them needs to be dropped. I'm sorry, I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's right. Big up to MHF, by the way, that have raided Mo and Hussam. You're both legends. We're going to be raiding Hussam later as well, so make sure that you are staying put for that. Make sure you're following and subscribing to both Mo and Hussam, both their channels. Big up to Footy Judge Mo at 50k as well, by the way, bro. And of course, Hussam, who's I think on to 60 to 70k now. Incredible. So big up to all of you guys. Much appreciate all of you. And make sure you're following MHF as well as Don Hussam and Footy Judge Mo. Big up to all of you guys. Fantastic. And cheers for the Raiders as well. I really appreciate all of you that are coming in. If you could hit the like button and subscribe and get us towards that 60k, that would be amazing because subscribers need to keep happening for us to grow. So please make sure you hit both of those buttons. So welcome, Raiders. If you're locked in, we're going through the Arsenal team lineup right now. This is what I think it will be. Do I want it to be that? My team would be Raya, Timber if he's fit at right back, if not Ben White. Saliba and Gabriel play, and I would probably play in Capie just for the fact that he was exceptional the other night. I think it's harsh to drop him. In midfield, Rice, Zubimendi, and probably Eze for me, but I think it will be Kai Havertz. And then I actually would go with Madueke on the right, Gyökeres through the middle, and on the left it would be Martinelli for me. But I do think that that will be the team. This has to work, whatever. We have to pick up 3 points. We have to get to a stage where we're in a position to actually allow us to comfortably watch that game on the Sunday. And I don't really want to be in a position where we're sitting on Sunday And it doesn't really matter because Arsenal haven't done their job. We have to do our job, people. We absolutely have to do our job. We really do. So are Arsenal going to do that? I hope so. I truly hope so. I'll be let down if we don't. I'll be let down if we don't. Now, on that team, we get to 55, 60 minutes and we're 2-0 up. Let's say it's been a fantastically comfortable game. Rice comes off for me. Norgard comes on. On the right-hand side, I'd probably look to bring on Ben White if he hasn't started him and give Timber that rest. I'm probably going to bring off Trossard and bring Martinelli on and then use Martinelli on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side because I think Trossard will probably start. And I probably would utilize Jesus as well, by the way, because I think we need to allow him minutes still. There's one player I'm a little bit worried about, people, and I've got to bring it up with you guys. I'm a little bit worried about the lack of minutes of Miles Lewis-Skelly. Now, I do know that he has contributed and he has played some minutes, so it's not all doom and gloom. I just worry about his Arsenal future in the short term and long term. Because I think now we might start to see Miles Lewis-Skelly in midfield. There was an interesting comment made by Mikel Arteta about that. Yes, he can play in midfield. I think we now need to see that in certain games. And I'll be really interested to get your thoughts on this in the chat. Against Wigan, I'd play Miles Lewis-Skelly in the midfield. I know we go into war off the Sunderland game, and I will bring it back to that, but I'm just talking about Miles Lewis-Skelly for now. I think he needs to play in midfield alongside Norgard, and then obviously up top, you're going to bring whoever you want in the 10 there. Maybe it's Eza that starts that one. I think Miles Lewis-Skelly needs to actually play in midfield as a left-sided 8 now. He's got the athleticism. He's got the legs. He's got the drive on the ball. He's got the engine. He's in midfield most of the time anyway when he plays at left-back. Let's just say how it is. I think what we need to do is allow for Miles Lewis-Skelly to showcase some more what he can do on the ball in midfield. And he's the only similarity that I see that if Declan Rice was to get injured, he'd have the legs. I don't think he's anywhere near the level of Rice, but I do think that what he can do is give us an engine. And that's what I think we need alongside Zubimendi if Rice was to be rested or, dare I say it, touchwood, he gets injured. So that's where I'm at with him. I think what we need to look at right now as well is how we can ensure that these guys have the best chance of staying fit to compete in all 4 competitions. And I'm looking at the likes of Norgard. I'm looking at the likes of Lewis-Skelly. I'm looking at Martinelli. I'm looking at Gabriel Jesus. I'm looking at the likes of White. I'm looking at Calafiori and Mosquera. They're all fit right now. There's only Saka and Marino that are out. Max Dowman is nearly back. Erdegaard is nearly back. Saka is nearly back. There's only really going to be Marino that's out long term. And that's the healthiest our squad's been in a long time. And it's a very strong squad, by the way. A very strong squad. So when I look at it right now, I don't think there's anybody that can deny that Arsenal have got the best squad in the league. But we've got to show that. And by showing that, you don't win the league, you go and compete in all 4 competitions. You get to the deep stages of all 4 competitions. We've done it already with the Carabao Cup. We look like we're going to be in a great chance of winning the league. We've got to roll the dice with the other 2, obviously, the FA Cup and the Champions League, to see who we draw. We've got Wigan, we know, but we don't know our Champions League last 16 opponents yet. But also what we have to look at is how we rotate. And I think that's something that we'll have to take seriously in the upcoming weeks. We are definitely going to see Mikel Arteta rotate. We're going to. But has he learned from the last few seasons? I don't want him to overplay some of these guys. Now, that's not being negative. That's just me asking a question. I think he has. And I think he will do it better. I think he already has done it better, and I think he's learned. I think the substitutes have all made sense this year. Yeah, it's a bit frustrating at times, a bit like for like, but I think the timing when he's made them have been excellent. I think I've never looked at it thinking, it's 85 minutes, he's not made a sub, and nothing's happening. And I felt like I was saying that a lot last season, and the season before, and probably the season before that. This time it seems different. It seems like he trusts these players more. It seems like he wants to put his trust and faith in starting a Noni Madueke and bringing him off, or bringing on somebody like Gabriel Jesus or Ben White and believing they've got it where it takes. And what I've been really, really happy with this season is the togetherness of this squad. The reason I'm happy with the togetherness of this squad is because that goal against Chelsea, people will take the piss. Oh, what they celebrating getting to a final for? Well, they're happy. They've just got to a final. Stop crying, move on. But it's the togetherness I saw. You've got Gabriel Jesus running up and hugging Kai Havertz. That's someone taking his place in his position. You've got Gyökeres at the back jumping on everyone. Doesn't care that Kai Havertz is ahead of him scoring. You've got Mosquera grabbing hold of Saliba, and literally they're putting head to head, going nuts at each other, going mental, going, yes, excitement, excitement. That's the player that's in front of him in his position. So it just shows, and I get that it's not like, oh, I hate him because he takes in my position. That's not what I'm getting at. I'm getting at there's a togetherness here that I haven't seen for quite some time. And I think that's a praise to the manager. And I think it's also a praise to the coaching staff, because Declan Rice has already bigged up the likes of Nicholas Jova, Stuvenberg, who he had a fight with, or an argument with, I should say. And of course, Gabriel Heinze, who was mentioned in the coaching staff in coming in the defence and giving some stability, some understanding, some mentality. And the fact that he won as a player and he knew what it was like to defend. I think these things have all made a difference. I've got to be honest with you. I really have. So that's kind of where I'm at there. Let's do this super chat because it leads nicely into the City game. Go all out versus City and blitz them. Send a message. Now, look, we'll worry about the City game when we get there. We've got the League Cup, and then, of course, we've got them again in April. And I truly believe we're probably going to visit them in potentially the Champions League and FA Cup if we are going to be drawing them. But I tell you what I want to do first, Jay Talia, is I want to talk about this Liverpool-Manchester City game itself, because for me, I think this is going to be a cracking game. I actually do believe it's going to be a 2-2 draw. But I'll say this, if Liverpool were to take anything, whether it be a draw or a win, and Arsenal do the business against Sunderland, get excited, because Arsenal go 8 or 9 points clear. And I tell you what, Mikel Arteta, surely even he can't mess it up from here. It has to be this weekend. That's a huge statement for Arsenal winning this league. I want it to get to Monday, and I want to listen to all of the Talk Sport media lovers, podcasters, neutral fans, rival fans, all saying Arsenal have just won this league. That's what I want to hear on Monday. And the only scenario is that we win this weekend and they lose or drop points, because 8 or 9 points is definitely enough to start getting confident and say with chest, we're going to win this league. For me, 6 points and below, it isn't enough for me to say, yep, we're going to do it, especially when we've got to play him again. Because Manchester City's mindset won't be, oh, we can't lose to them, because then it will be that. They'll be like, well, really, they're only 3 points ahead of us because we're going to beat them. So that means there's 3 points. So they just got to lose one and we got to win one, then we're level again if we beat them at the Etihad, when we beat them at the Etihad. That's where their mentality would be, because they've all done this before. Now, I appreciate it's not the same Man City. It ain't. It really ain't. I've been saying that and shouting it with a megaphone for a long time. But it is the same Pep. It is the same Haaland, Foden, Rodri, Bernardo that all know how to do this and how to win it. So for me, when I look at it, I don't think it's the same City, but we can't then believe that we can just relax and just go, it's not the same City, we'll be fine. Sorry, we have to do our job. And we do our job tomorrow by picking up 3 points. That's what we do. So for me, I've got to be realistic when I say this. I will get my chest out, but I need that scenario to fall in place this weekend first. The Liverpool City game is going to be an interesting one. I don't know how Liverpool and City are going to line up. From my understanding, the Liverpool team is probably going to be Alisson in goal with Szoboszlai at right back, because apparently Joe Gomez and Jeremy Frimpong are both out, which is a massive shame. I think Conor Bradley is out for a long time as well. Left back will be Kirkes, and the two centre halves will be Konate and Virgil van Dijk. In midfield, I think it will be Gravenberch with Florian Wirtz and McAllister. And then I think the front three will be Salah, Gakpo and Ekitike. I've been very impressed with Wirtz and Ekitike. Wirtz and Ekitike, for me, have actually done very well in the last few games. And I think Ekitike's had a good season. I don't know what people are talking about, really. He's had a very good season. I think he looks an exceptional player. I think he looks the one out of all of the signings up top. He looks the best. He looks better than Voltemeda. He looks better than Gyökeres. He looks better than Sesko. I've got to say it how it is. I would have loved to have signed him, if I'm honest now, in hindsight. I didn't know anything about him at the time. He wasn't on my list. I didn't say I wanted him over Gyökeres. I didn't want him over Isak or anyone like that. But he does remind me of Alexander Isak. I know people said before that Alexander Isak's got that run where he curls it in with his right foot into the corner, just like Thierry Henry-esque style. And I do see that with Hugo Ekitike as well. He's got similar attributes. I think he's an exceptional talent. And I think him and Wirtz have actually been able to form a partnership, which I think might click a little bit now. I think we're underestimating Liverpool a little bit here because Liverpool haven't been like shambolic to the point where they just lose. Looks like they're going to come 12th, 13th. They're still in a chance of Champions League and they want Champions League football. They don't want to finish below City and Arsenal, let alone United and Chelsea and Villa. So they've got to win this game. And I've spoken to Liverpool fans, and there are some that say, well, I hope we do you a favour because I'd rather you win the league than City. But there's also some that have said, look, I don't give a damn about Arsenal. Sorry, I want to beat Man City and I don't care what that means for Arsenal. We've got to win so we get Champions League football. So they ain't going to roll over here. They're going to want to beat them at Anfield. And even this result in the reverse fixture, we went to Stadium of Light and we drew 2-2. Brian Brobby, we all know what happened. And then I went into that next day on the Sunday thinking, bloody hell, this is frustrating because Liverpool and City have got each other. I don't want to do that again. I want to go into the Sunday believing we've got a great chance here because we picked up 3 points. We're 9 points clear. It's for Man City to catch us up, make sure that it's 6 again. Hopefully it's 8 or 9. And I think Liverpool got a great chance of doing the job. But I have gone for a 2-2 draw. As for Manchester City's team, I think it will be pretty clear. I think it's Donnarumma in goal. I think it will be Nunes and Ait-Nouri as the two fullbacks. And I think at centre-back, Diaz is back. So we'll probably partner Kusanov at centre-half. Instead of Ake. In midfield, I think it will probably be Rodri and Gonzalez, who both play this time, with, I think, Cherki in the 10. I don't think Foden will play this one. And I think Semenyo and Cherki will be either side of Haaland. I don't think it will be... Marmoush and Semenyo will be either side of Haaland. I don't think it will be Marmoush up top. I think he'll play all of them. That's what I think Pep will do. And that's actually a strong City side as well, to be fair. So it should be a cracker. So I'm looking forward to this one. I think it will be a very interesting one indeed. Look, it doesn't really matter what happens at Anfield because Arsenal need to win. They need to win. So now it's time for predictions. Let's start with Liverpool City. What's your predictions? Let me know in the chat. Is it a Liverpool win? Is it a City win? Is it a draw? Let me know in the chat now. I am going to go with 2-2. I think this will be end-to-end. I think this will be a little bit old school style, like the Klopp and the Pep days. And I'm going to go for 2-2. I think this will be a cracker. And I'm feeling a last-minute equaliser for one of the sides, but I don't quite know who. Shaitanya has gone 3-2 Liverpool. I think a lot of people are predicting goals in this one. AFC Krish says 3-1 to Liverpool. Kiros says a Liverpool win. CVH says a City win. We've got the Mod Mother in the house saying draw. Ellis says 1-1. Also a draw. What's Up says, I actually think City will win, so he must beat Sunderland. I totally agree with that. Chaitanya's gone for 3-2 because he believes that Liverpool and City both have leaky defences. I actually agree with that. I think they do concede goals. Tammy says a draw would do as well. It would do, actually. It would do. I think a lot of people are hoping that Liverpool win this, but actually a draw would be fine as well because 8 points would still be great. Matthew Boss says 2-1 to Liverpool. Oh, I'll tell you what. Can you imagine, Castro, if this was true? 9-9. What's the highest scoring draw in a game? Does anyone know? Surely there's not been a 5-5. There's been 4-4s, hasn't there? Has there been a 5-5 or a 6-6? Let me know. I'm talking a Premier League game within 90 minutes, by the way. Has there ever been a 4? Has there ever been a 5-5? Not sure that there has. Someone Google it. Let me know. We need City to win, Potts. Nah, I don't want City winning this, bruv. I don't want City winning this. It's Must says 3-1 to City. Where are we? Shaitanya says 5-4. Yeah, I definitely think it was. Fergie's last match was 5-5. Was it? Someone Google it. Someone Google it for me in the chat and let me know. What is the highest score draw? I think it's 4-4, but if there's a 5-5 or a 6-6, let me know what game it was. Everton United was also high scoring. That was 4-4 though, wasn't it? Oh, 5-5 against West Brom. Was that the Man United one where Lukaku scored for West Brom? You might be right, you know. You might be right. Yeah, West Brom. There we go. Apparently it is West Brom. So West Brom, Manchester United. There we go. Interesting. Well, maybe tomorrow it'll be 6-6. Not the Arsenal game, by the way. So, look. Oh, Diaz and Guehi. Did I miss Guehi out? Sorry, Pete. You're right. I missed Guehi out. It will be Diaz and Guehi then. Big up to you, bro. Big up to you. Oh, sorry. CV, I apologise. I thought you were an Arsenal fan. You're a Chelsea fan, and that's why you said City winner. It's over. Look, big up to you, bro. I totally appreciate where you're coming from now. You, of course, need them to win so that you have a chance of overtaking Liverpool. I'm totally with you. Totally with you now. Dan, which English team would you not want to face in the Champions League? Probably Liverpool. Because I think they've been the best English team in Europe. I don't want to face any of them. And yes, I do mean Tottenham. And yes, I do mean Newcastle. And yes, I do mean Chelsea. And yes, I do mean City and Liverpool. I truly would not want to face any of them. Because I think that the English league is so strong right now. And the English teams are so much stronger. And I'm talking about the English league's poor, by the way. But I think in terms of comparison to the other teams, I think we've proven that we are actually quite good in Europe as a nation. So I wouldn't want any of them. I've got to be honest with you. I wanted to talk quickly about Martin Odegaard. And I know people have got going on again about Odegaard. I just want to make it very clear that I have no hatred against Martin Odegaard. I think he's a very good player, and I think he's technically gifted. I don't think he's been performing this season. And the reason I want to mention him is because if you had the scenario of selling him for about 60 million euros, 65 million euros, would you take it and go and lump it on a Sanchez or a Morgan Rogers or someone that you wanted? Because my answer is yes, I would. I feel like Martin Odegaard has potentially got to the level that we needed him to, and we now need to go there. And I think he's still trying to spin on the ball and slow it down and thread it through. I don't want to see Martin Odegaard as the future attacking midfielder of Arsenal if this is the version of Martin Odegaard that we're going to get. If he goes back to what I've seen in 22, 23, 23, 24, I think we've got a very good player who's creative. He's nowhere near the level of Bergkamp or Merson or De Bruyne or Silva or Hazard or any of that, right? Let's just stop with that rubbish. For me, I would sell him in the summer. If it was to a club like Bayern or Inter or Barca or whatever it be that are serious about it, that want to lump 70 million euros, I'd say yes. And I'd put that money on towards the money that it would take for Morgan Rogers, which I think would be about 80 or 90 million. Seriously, I think it would cost that much. Because Eza went for 68, which means that, you know, and he wanted out. He was a year left, I think. For me, I think Morgan Rogers is needed. I really do. I like him a hell of a lot. I think he's an exceptional player. And I actually do think, and this might be a wild take, and it might be an unpopular opinion, I think Morgan Rogers might end up being a better footballer than Jude Bellingham. Wild take. I don't think Jude Bellingham is this Zidane character that people think. I think he's a very good player, by the way. They all are. But I actually think Morgan Rogers might be better than Bellingham. I actually do. And I think if you put Rogers in that Real Madrid side in La Liga, I think he'd smash it, if I'm honest. Now, some people are saying you open the door for Nwaneri when he comes back and the E starts. I think it might be a little bit too early for him to start for Arsenal in every game, but I certainly think he comes back next season and should stay. I wouldn't have got rid of him anyway. I'll be playing Ethan now. I'll be giving him a chance in the 10 role. I'd have been playing him against Kairat. I would have played him against Wigan. He's the guy I'd be saying, right, okay, knock on that door, because Eze and Odegaard and Havertz at the moment, they have not nailed down the position. But obviously we can't do that. So that's a next season thing. But I 100% would go for Morgan Rogers. I really would. But for that to happen, you would have to potentially sell Martin Odegaard. I don't think we're going to get Rogers if we're keeping our attacking midfielders. So that's what I would say. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, guys. Let me know. It might be that you disagree with that. You don't think that we should be going for Morgan Rogers. You want a Sanchez over at Athletic Bilbao, or you want somebody else in that number 10 role that you think is next level. Maybe you're Mr. Ambitious and you want Arsenal to go and lump 120 million on Cole Palmer and test the waters with Chelsea. Sorry, CVH. I know that you won't like me saying that, bruv. But there are Arsenal fans that would want Cole Palmer. I think most football fans would want Cole Palmer, albeit I don't think he's been great this season, if I'm honest. Which is a bit of a worry for England, actually, isn't it? In a World Cup year where Eze's not really doing it, neither's Foden, neither's Palmer, neither's Saka. Right now, you're probably starting Rodgers, Rashford, and Bowen as your front three in terms of form. So yeah, interesting. Let's see what happens. So yeah, we'll be there for it. I think in the summer, I truly believe this, by the way, I still think Arsenal will sign and strengthen. I still think Arsenal will look at an attacker. I still think Arsenal will look at a striker and a left-sided winger. And I still think Arsenal will look at a box-to-box midfielder. That doesn't mean we go sell loads of players, but I'll be looking at the future of Jesus. I'll be looking at the future of Trossard or Martinelli. I'll be looking at the future of Odegaard and potentially be looking at the future of a couple of others that might not be happy with their minutes. But I will say this, Arsenal in a very good position, people. Very good position. So we can't get negative about it without a doubt. Look, let's go with our predictions for this game. I'm going to go Arsenal 2, Sunderland 0. I think we'll keep a clean sheet. I think we'll be resolute. I think we'll be solid, but I think we've got enough quality. I think we'll probably go set piece again, a but I do think we'll score an open play goal, and it'll be 2-0 to the Arsenal. Put in your chats now, in your comments now, your predictions now for the Arsenal-Sunderland game. We've got Chaitanya straight in with 2-0 Sunderland. You mean 2-0 Arsenal, Chaitanya, right? Surely you mean 2-0. Surely you mean 2-0 Arsenal, bruv. Ryan says 3-0 Arsenal. Yeah, 3-0 Arsenal. Ryan, I'd absolutely love that. Sorry, it's glitching there. I don't know what's going on. Ellis says 3-0 as well. Afsar says 1-0 hard game. Do you know what? I said that against Leeds and it was 4. So I hope that you're doing what I did and being a little bit, concerned, a little bit cagey, and we actually open them up. Look, Arsenal 2, Sunderland 0. Chaitanya, thank you so much. You worried me for a minute. Madge says 3-1. And Taran says 3-1-2. I don't know what's happening here. There we go. There, I think I'm glitching a bit, people. Hopefully you can still hear me. Keros is 3-1. What's up says 3-0 Trossard and Gyökeres with 2 goals. You know what? I take that. Not because I don't care who scores, but actually I'd take those scorers. I think Trossard needs a goal because I feel like he's just a little bit behind Martinelli at the moment, in my opinion. And Gyökeres definitely needs goals, without a doubt. He needs to keep scoring, so that's for sure. Devlin says if Bayern wants Odegaard to swap for Musiala and Odegaard and give 30 million, look, that I don't think they're going to get rid of Musiala, bruv. I really don't. 1-0 Gabriel says Tom edits, followed by Scholes saying we're boring. Let Paul Scholes keep crying. That's what we need to do. Chaitanya says we're going to score 1 own goal and 1 set piece goal. You might not be wrong, bruv. Tammy says 2-1 to the Arsenal. I hope you are right. Netweed, here he is. We need to get to February the 22nd, at least 7 points ahead. Till then, I'm not giving Arteta a headache, nothing. Netweed, I know you're not an Arteta fan, bruv. But be happy, man, at the moment. Hopefully we're happier in May. But right now we can be happy, bruv. We can be. I knew this was going to come. I was hoping someone would put this 6-6. There we go. Chelsea fan CVH thinks it will be 2-2 with Arsenal Sunderland. It was last time at the Stadium of Light. Let's hope it's not again. Listen, people, we're going to come to a close. Make sure you do me a favor, hit like and subscribe. Make sure you go and show some love to Hussam, who's about to go live with a panel. Do not miss it. He's always good fun. So go and show him some love. We're going to redirect you over there now. Make sure you're showing OK Jersey some love as well. Make sure you use the code 12MAN. Links in the live chat now. So click on that and then order your World Cup shirt. Any name or number on the back from any nation. Make sure you use 12MAN for the code as well, people. Okay. If you want this merch, it's also in the link in the description. You can get the Thierry Henry hoodie. You can get the Thierry Henry mug. And there's loads of other merch on there as well. So go click on that button as well in the description. Now, we're going to send you to Hussam. Go and show some love. Dan Potts raid. And we will see you next time, people. We're out of here. Laters.